Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing? This is good old Reverend Ordo, and this is the anonymous Mando'Ade sec. And now, I want to get into a really important topic here, and just off the bat right now. So please bear with me here. There is some things that are needed to be understood, and so let's I want to share the feed here, so I need to let's see. Go here, Control B. Now the whole AI bit here, the whole AI. Starting to really fuck things up. I came across a video of a YouTuber, a content creator, who got banned due to not the algorithm, but YouTube's AI. And it is a very very fucked up thing, I've gotten banned a couple times. And I lost 2 channels because of YouTube's bullshit, I've been doing pretty good. This channel that I'm going to be uploading on has 11 subscribers, and my main one. What's up, Zero? Hey, man, did you hit the link, man? Hit the link, man. Come on here, dude. Come on. Well, I've gotten. I had to rebuild from scratch. My main channel that I use has 31 subscribers. You want to get on 2? Huh? You want to get on 2? Huh? He wants to see what I'm doing. Huh? Really? Really? Huh? This is Pedro. Go say hi. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come here. This is Pedro. This is my buddy here. This is my now YouTube co-host. Huh? This is Pedro. Say hi, Pedro. Say hi, buddy. Say hi, buddy. This is my my YouTube co-host, Pedro. All right, we got Zero. Zero, meet Pedro. Pedro, meet Zero.
Yeah, super kitty.
Well, right now we're doing a video here on YouTube's AI. I came across this as a real serious issue, man. Any thoughts?
Oh, we've always had issues with YouTube from the beginning. No matter if we're talking about going against the top 1% or who likes pineapple on pizza. Everybody gets hit by the YouTube algorithm at some point in time, no matter which way you slice it, just to see if you can bounce back, is literally the way that I look at that, pretty much. And they're cracking down on it because obviously the AI is going to see most things, if not all things. But the AI can only give you data, it doesn't give you knowledge. I've noticed this with these things. They do not give you knowledge. They just spit a whole bunch of random, most times it can be falsified encyclopedia jargon.
There's a content creator that got banned over a mic drop. He knocked over his mic and he got banned by the AI.
Because the AI is not very intelligent. It probably misinterpreted the sound as a pop instead of a bang.
Yeah.
So that we don't get in trouble with pew pews being talked about on YouTube because the AI bot's going rogue on us.
That's like on TikTok. You have to say, when it comes to guns, you got to say pew pew. You got to say pew pew. As reference to the whole gun thing,
Yeah, I didn't want to get your channel hurt, but yeah, my ghost ship, we'll just flip the ship over and ride into the horizon. We'll do whatever we want over there.
Yeah, do it. I mean, it's just that we got to do what we have to do. I agree with that, man. Big time. But I mean, when you look at AI, you look at the movie 2001: The Space Odyssey. HAL, okay, HAL, and I think that the HAL is a prediction of coming AI, which is already here, and also Skynet too, the virus, AI,
I was more,
to me, AI is virus.
right, exactly. I was more of a fan of 2010, the year we made contact, which is part 2 of that. I wasn't into all the psychedelic trips, but I do understand the concept of what Hal was. He was just the machine following orders, and they gave him directives that were conflicting, which caused the machine to go rogue. So that's the problem here. The programmers are legitimately not fully programming the computer, the AI, or they're giving it conflicting tasks. Like, you can only do this, but you have to do this because you can't do this. And it's like, wait a minute, the AI does understand, but this is why it's going off, because it doesn't exactly know which way to roll. It doesn't have the human discernment. Like I stated, the AI can only give us data. It won't give us knowledge.
Yeah, it'll only give us what, kind of like if you look at Cortana, Siri, Alexa, you ask questions for, like, you want some information a little bit, or ChatGPT for one thing. That's more like, holy shit, that's way above Alexa, Siri, and Cortana. I mean, shit, man.
And they're still easily influenced. You can direct them in certain directions. And like I stated, you can get the AI to give you false data, and then you challenge them on it, and they will completely change their point of view instantly within not even a half a keystroke.
Yeah. What would your thoughts be if there was no AI?
Yeah, that one took a moment. Hold on. Processing. If we were just still dealing with the it from bit, where it doesn't exactly have the capability to communicate back and forth with us, that would still leave the human element in play majorly. But that's the thing. Everybody wants to get lazy. Everybody wants to do less for more. And now it's coming to the point where we want to do nothing for everything while owning nothing and be happy about it.
Exactly. I mean, there's been a lot of content creators that have got banned for example, if you're talking about a certain thing that has nothing to do with a policy that YouTube has, the policy. I mean, like, so it's like you and I could talk about, say, a motherboard, right? You know, on a computer or a, whatever, and
It
then,
can get triggered by we're using gender specific words, and it'll throw us off because it doesn't understand the conversation.
yeah, and will be accused of a policy violation of misgender when you're talking about a motherboard on a computer compared to someone's gender, right? I mean, like, dude, it's just simple between a flesh and a machine, a tool.
Exactly. It'll misinterpret the language because we could be sitting here talking about motherboards and USB ports, and we'll make a few satiristic jokes, but we're talking about equipment, and we're not talking about human equipment. We're talking about physical computer equipment, and it'll misunderstand what we're stating, and it'll jump right in. We won't have the time to correct it and be like, whoa, hold on. You don't understand the context of the conversation that's going on. And yes, I've been through this several times with AI. I fight an AI, so I know how they react. I know how they'll sit back and try to consider this as something. And it's like, no, I literally type this. And it'll misconstrue things. Like, basic example. If you tell them not to use a specific name, it'll be that name in there. And it's like, I just told you not to use that name.
Exactly. We all know that they're going to change. That's why other people have not just a channel, a place on YouTube, but also other platforms. Alternative ones like Minds and Gab and MeWe and Rumble, Tumblr and whatnot, because they're trying to find an alternative place where they could, even though respect the terms of service on the other platforms, but also the community guidelines, but yet, I mean, it's like TikTok. I mean, I've been on that thing for forever. It feels like forever, I could say something snarky that won't go against the policies and shit, and yet, boom, accused of some bullshit policy that had nothing to do with what I said. That I agree.
I know it's not directly related to AI, but just to insert words from Foamy, and I know you know who Foamy is.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
weird how people keep leaving one social media platform for another because it's too toxic, and then that new platform inevitably becomes just as terrible. It's almost like there's a consistent variable that travels from platform to platform, making it awful. That's words of wisdom from Foamy right there.
Yeah. I do it to expand, but not to be an ass, I think that some creators I've come across a few times over the years, they have not that have not really learned their lesson because, of course, they got banned numerous times, because of their antics. That's why they're moved. But AI here we got. I mean, it's not it's not the algorithm. It's the AI. It's the Go is using AI. It's like they're competing with Chat GPT. And what's Chat GPT? A AI kind of I don't know how you could say it. If you need something, it'll type it out for you. Kind of
A
shit.
writing assistant.
Yeah, and it's been used multiple times where, like, it was used in courtrooms. It was used, like, lawmakers would use it to do some stupid shit, and then all of a sudden it's like, what's this shit, It ain't legit. I mean, that ain't someone's word. It's, AI written, AI typed. But when you look at, I mean, again, AI is, to me, it's just a crutch. It's laziness.
Yeah, and we can talk about specific crutches all day, but let's just keep it centered on this.
Yeah.
We know for a fact, because you and I have done boatloads of research here. The internet was created by DARPA in either the 50s, the late 50s, early 60s, somewhere around there. We wasn't released it to the late 80s, the cusp of the 90s. We are told that AI was created in 2015. We are also at the plateau where they're trying to make the AI breed with quantum computers, QCs, AI QCs. They're trying to make AGI out of that. And who's to say that they haven't already done that behind the scenes? Because at the beginning of this month, I legitimately, to keep on this subject, got something on my desk. There is an AI out there that is programming itself for tasks that it wasn't originally programmed for. So that literally states we are on the cusp of AGI.
I got done watching Terminator 3. And and watching the whole movie, I'm like, man, I hope we don't reach that level.
All it takes is one screw up, bro. And
Yeah.
who's to say? Who's to say that they are being careful? Who's to say they're not being careful? Who's to say that they don't have an Ethernet, not an internet, an Ethernet version of a rogue AI that they're poking and prodding, pointing at Ultron here, pointing at the movie Ultron, and as soon as it gets access, it's going to blow us all away. Who's to say that's not going on? And I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just throwing out a hypothetical here that we are in dark times, but we are in the technological dark ages. Why? Because it's not long before things are going to start popping off, and there has to be some sort of progression. Star Trek did not show us. They showed us how we are right now, and then suddenly we're on a united utopian planet. Currency doesn't exist. They don't show what happened. That's the
No.
wicked thing.
The one thing that they want to do is have this cashless society, a credit score kind of shit, like in China. I don't think that'll work, but can't. But they're saying never say never.
Yeah, it's kind of wicked. There was this scene I was looking for a specific movie since we're on the Chinese social credit score. And it just so happened there was an individual who was from a foreign country who was watching the movie that got the clip for me. But here's the thing. Whenever they pulled out the pew, there was a whole bunch of red alarms going off and everything. And he had to silence them and explain it's a movie. And then he had to get back to the clip. You get my point. In his language, movie. He said movie. You get my point? So it's not perfect.
No. It will never be perfect, but it'll have a weakness. An area where it'll be exploited.
And we have to realize the computer is biased. Oh, please continue. My bad.
Every creation has a weakness that can be exploited. You know, any. I'll be honest here. Any tech-savvy hacker can hack into AI to create a virus. Remember? Do you remember the love virus?
I don't know what that is.
It's a computer virus.
I remember the Trojan horse that used to mess with a lot of people.
It took over approximately almost a quarter of the world's population. Basically, this virus took over three-quarters of the world's computers. And most of them were in hospitals and institutions, you know. And if this virus went all over the world, we would be looking at Skynet already here, you know. But one young guy stopped it. And when he did that, he got arrested for it. Now I'm sitting there thinking, you arrested a guy who stopped the virus, who had a heart and logical conscience to stop this thing.
Yeah, it goes back to you cannot point out the illegal things that your government is doing. That is illegal.
To me, that's like they wanted it to happen. You know.
And that little story right there, I know it's not related and it's not from this, reminded me of the movie called The Core. There was this guy named Mouse. He said, sure, I'll be your internet protection guy to make sure that this stays blackout media. And he'll do it for every episode of Xena Warrior Princess and a lifetime supply of Hot Pockets. But at the end of the movie, because the human population had no idea what happened, they just saw weird phenomenon happening and blah, 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 blah. He released the information to the public. But that's kind of where the movie ends. We don't find out what happened to Mouse after that.
Yeah, I mean, everything we're talking about has to do with this AI shit, man. Because, I mean, again, it's a crutch. It's laziness. I mean, honestly, I think it does not belong in certain areas because, again, you have content creators getting banned over YouTube's AI shit, and you know, we both got hit by policies that are completely off shot of what content we were creating, you know. Tin Man got hit with a violation when he did that 5-second viewing of Idiocracy, only 4 seconds. You know,
That's like a soundbite, bro. What the hell? I even got unverified recently from YouTube because I'm not putting out content. Well, the reason why I'm not putting out content is because y'all have been screwing me on my subscriber number. Because I knew about a week ago I should have been about 283. By now, the people that I've interacted with and the people that said that they subscribe, I should be all but touching 300. I'm not at 300, but I'm definitely in the 294, 297 range. But it's just not coming back, so to say.
Yeah, exactly. I there has been look, I come across really good content, including yours, man. Good content, and I've sat there, I've watched, and I become entertained. Just really sit here and just watch and watch and watch, and it's kind of soak in that information, all that shit, and to find out later on, uh, like, dude, um, what the fuck, man, what was that? From that ding.
I'm muted over here, so you didn't hear it from my side.
Let me see here. Let me check here. Let me see.
You literally caught me as I'm rolling over and getting done with the morning routine. I see a stream there, and I'm like, wait, let me go look and see what's going on before I just click this. Because you know me, I gotta check shit out before I just pop in.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've all been caught a few times, and we don't like being caught, if you get that statement.
Yeah. We'll be caught one time or another, but I mean, it's now, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about anyone that just come on here. We're talking about YouTube's AI banning innocent content creators over bullshit that is completely innocent. There's a YouTuber that I came across a little bit ago, before I started the broadcast here. He mentioned about a YouTube AI system that got him banned over a mic drop. Now we all know that AI don't really they do not know the difference between a pop or a boom, kind of thing, but there is a lot of questions about why do we have AI? Why do we have this shit? Why is it that I think it's let's see, so come here. Need some comments. Let's see here. Yeah.
And personally, I don't see it as a good thing. I see it as sometimes as a useful tool, but we're giving it too much. Just like the plain and simple fact that you have more computer checkouts than you have human checkouts at the store. There's fast food restaurants that you don't talk to a human anymore. I literally walk up to the counter and say, "I demand a human to take my order."
Yeah.
Because I can't work them kiosks. Them kiosks don't comprehend what I'm trying to put forth because I'm a specific order kind of person. I like meat and cheese on my burger. You take your condoms and throw them away.
Hold on. Let's see here. Hello?
Grant?
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
are
on.
you on a live stream?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later then.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. I see AI kind of equivalent to um, smart meters. And the reason for that is back in the day, we didn't have smart meters. We had analog meters where you had guys that work for the power company come into your backyard, check your power, you know.
Oh yeah, I expected the monthly walk around my house because you know me, man. I know when somebody's walking up to my house, like, what the fuck you doing
Yeah.
here? I've caught them a few times. It's like, bro, why are you in my backyard? Oh, I'm doing legal work. Bro, how did you get in my backyard? The fence is locked.
Well, the thing is, you get you got to give them some access to the analog because they can't just they ain't got nothing to really check because how much power you use, you know.
Yeah, that's the old one, the dials that came around.
Old school.
But now
Yeah.
it's a complete signal that's ran through. And it just proves to you that you will own nothing and be happy. It goes back to the digital currency statement. At any point in time, those numbers can become zero.
Exactly. I mean, it just that it's sheer laziness. Let's create this so we can let's create this so we're not working hard enough, but we'll still get paid the usual. This world was based on people working hard, doing the footwork, working those long hours, not create something that'll do it for you. You do it yourself. But wow, what's this? We're creating something that'll help us out. Being lazy. Yeah. I mean, it just one thing after another is like, dude, AI is the problem. AI is now the Skynet. Just in beta form, you know. It's a beta form.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that. That's how come I stated about the AI mixing with quantum computers. And that's just going to exponent us even harder because you and I understand Moore's law, double the amount of bits, half of the amount of usage, but we're still exponentially going up the curve. And sooner or later, we're going to meet a cusp where either we're going to plateau or it's Project Montauk in our face. And I really hate to throw that out there like that, but it's Project Montauk on the horizon.
Exactly. I mean, when you think about, okay, for example, here you have new cars coming in every year, being created, which would take about 5 years minimum to design, create, or just kind of come up with a marketing idea for a certain car, drawn on paper, all these different concepts and whatnot, until they find the one that would be the big moneymaker, you know. EVs, I'm not big on those vehicles. I can see to commute locally.
There's still coal-powered vehicles, Grimlock, and we both know that.
And within the system, you're basically creating a smart car on wheels. That's went from beta to sigma.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you there. They're giving a tangible form to literally, yes, less than a baby. And they don't expect it to go rogue. And it's already proving that without a tangible form, it is rogue. And we're attempting to give it tangible forms. These cars are going to run us all over. And I don't mean to sound like the doomer up here. I'm like, they're not testing these hard enough. They're not double blind testing them. They're not
Exactly.
ensuring that there is literally 100% success rate. And that's the thing. With a computer, you have the plausibility to break past the human element. But if we do not properly do this, we're all dead.
Exactly. When you see these new things coming up, we sit back for a moment, however long that is, and you think about all the technology of the past from the very beginning, from ground one, and it's coming up different evolutions of the technology, like computer, cars, radio, TVs, all kinds of stuff. I mean, the first computer wasn't the first computer came out in the 40s. So it evolved over the years. Here comes the office computer. Now you got the 1970s where it got really huge. You got home computers, all this shit. Gaming came in the 70s. All of a sudden, right now we're 2025, where your console is basically your computer, where you could get online, where you don't need a computer. You got a goddamn console that you can do stuff that you wouldn't think 40 plus years ago that it would happen.
Somebody adamantly wants some attention, don't they?
No, it's a scam thing. Like the Walkman came out in 1975. Then you have CDs.
Don't forget about the 8-tracks.
I know 8-track. Then the Walkman. Then you got the CDs. Then you have these CD players. Wake up to put a player in your car, but you gotta put it in the trunk. You gotta get out of the car, open up the trunk, take out your Public Enemy CD, put in your Vanilla Ice CD, and drive boring.
And then now we have flash drives that can just plug in. That's Moore's law. That's a physical representation of Moore's law. We went from 8-tracks to cassette tapes. Then we went from CDs to USB ports.
I went and picked up a one of these, and this is a Baofeng UV5R. Okay, I've always been a radio guy. Didn't matter what radio it was, Picked it up for a good $25 on eBay, and the scale of it is, you will see these bullshitters saying, "Oh, these could be banned in 2025." The rumor's bullshit, and the government doesn't want you to jailbreak your radio. The key word is factory unlock. Jailbreak is an old word from the early to mid, from the mid to the late 2000s, early 2010s. That's it's now called factory unlock.
Nah, it's like shell shock. The definitions of things change, the words of things change, and honestly, I'm quite sure you've seen more than I have. It's like the whole point behind this is that, but that's not this. It's like, bro, no,
because it is my radio here is it is factory unlock, which means that I could get more signals with this thing. Yeah. Hello.
And see, that's the AI right now. It's making sure that we cannot get the proper information out.
No.
But I don't mean the person that's calling you is an AI. I'm just stating the AI is predictable.
That's my mom.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's predictively already in process of doing things. Hello, individual in the chat.
Okay, we got Wolf for Thrill Sick Wild Sticker. Look up Dr. Amy Eskridge. They're saying she's unalive herself, but she's trying to expose that everyone who's not in the club is about to become a target individual.
Oh yeah, we already knew that if you're not in the club, you might as well be deheaded, dethroned, and that's the whole point behind it. And Queen and I, timeout.
Hello?
Hey, how's it go?
They're good.
How's the kitties and Lizzie?
They're all good.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I just gotta come see how they're doing.
They're good. They're doing good.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye. If anybody wants to know what I'm talking to,
let's not get biblical with this. Go ahead.
It's my watch. It's a rugged smartwatch. It's equivalent to the rugged smartphone. But again, things evolve, and one of the things that they evolve over the decades, over the years, is the watch. Man, the fucking watch.
But yeah, you and I have been through several conversations where individuals who have exposed too much are not with us anymore. George Carlin, Robin Williams, Trevor Moore, Prodigy. The list continues.
Bill Hicks.
Go ahead.
Bill Hicks.
The list continues of individuals who have literally exposed things. Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington. Like I said, the list continues.
Paul Walker.
The list continues. And the reason why is because they don't want you to know about it. There's certain terms that we can literally state that'll get us off of YouTube, and it's not even bad words. Like if we put gate and we decide that we want to order a pizza on top of it, and yes, we had to put that many words between those two words just to make it put on YouTube.
They're also killing whistleblowers too as well.
This is also another thing. Whenever it comes to the extraplanetary explanations about things, there are people that are legitimate. There are people giving out false information. There are also people behind the scenes, and we've discussed this before on the big channel, that they've had the ability to push a button since the 90s to do a false extraplanetary invasion, and it's all holograms. You're not going to do a Will Smith and punch the extraplanetary in the face. Go ahead.
No. Richie from Boston, who's also a YouTube, a content creator on YouTube and Rumble, he talked about in December and early to mid-January that when they did that drone shit, the AI-powered drones. They're wanting to make AI their god. The elites want to make AI their god, and
Project Montauk.
Yeah, and also mentioned that before Christmas that the Pope, the late Pope, was going to open up 5 portals. 5 portals.
He did so.
And I don't know if he did that or not.
He did so. Yes, he did do so. He opened up the doors on the specific dates that they said. And since we're on the topic of the Pope, I know you saw that meme I sent you, and it gave you a little chuckle. That was hilarious.
Okay. Trissiker says she's not only an engineer, she was a nanotechnology expert trying to get out information that the MAC address was being forced upon people. In the worldwide injection to hook them up to the cloud, make everyone a hive mind.
Yeah, and I also had some information. I don't know how much more valid it is, but in the northern hemisphere, by winter time, there will be 400,000 physical bodies for these AIs to get into, and this is public use. From what I'm understanding, these 400,000 tangible bodies for the AI will be public use.
I mean, the whole thing of transhumanism is a scary fucking thing, dude. And AI again is a beta for not just the whole Skynet shit, but also transhumanism, because they want to take your mind, map it, and create your digital twin.
They're already
doing this. If you remember the movie, if you remember the movie with Johnny Depp, where he died and became like his consciousness became part of a system. I've seen that a couple times, and that thing freaked me the fuck out, dude. Like,
I'd rather put on the table the Keanu Reeves movie that very, very, very few people know about. It's called Remnant. And the opening scene itself will blow you away. I think it's Remnant or some. The opening scene will blow you away. They are literally taking a not alive body, mapping the brain. The opening sequence is like this, and they're transferring it within a set amount of time. Yes, false transcendence, wild truth seeker, false transcendence. They're taking the unalive person's mind and they're putting it into a constructed robot. And the opening scene, the robot comes alive, and then it literally starts ripping itself apart because the consciousness inside of it cannot compute, cannot comprehend. The human consciousness they just forced inside of this machine cannot comprehend what had occurred.
If you look at movies like Iron Man, Transformers, there are some Easter eggs in some scenes that now these movies they had military advisors in his movies,
You're making me think about Rhodey whenever he first put on the American suit of armor and it snapped his back. It boom, spun him right around because it's plugged into his conscious thought. And he had to have thought some sort of strange thought. And that's the whole thing. It'll completely instantly react. And going back to what you were stating earlier, there are legitimately, and this is not a joke, they have figured out a way. It was Hugh Jackman. Okay. Wolverine. Okay. They had to figure out a way to legitimately okay, the human mind always sends out these pulses. There's been many reports on it, and the one that I'm trying to touch on is that you can think words, and the machine will put your words on the screen. So basically, that just says that they can read your thoughts. And I've had a feeling this has been in ultra beta testing for over a decade. Just certain things, because I've also heard that they have attempted, I don't know if there was any successfuls or if it's implemented anywhere, they have attempted for individuals with mental discapabilities, unique capabilities, etc. The point behind it is that they can give positive affirmations to that individual. Well, how are they talking to the individual inside of their head? And they can also implant thoughts, is what I'm getting to, Wild Truth Seeker. Yes.
I've always been a fan of science fiction, but also terrifying of it. Just the thought. Shit. You go back to 2001, The Space Odyssey, the Terminator franchise, The Matrix. You look at movies like Clockwork Orange, The Shining, Eyes Wide Shut. These were thought scaring movies. Really getting people to think, how bad we're getting fucked royally, and
yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a movie where Hugh Jackman was actually the bad guy. And I don't think it was Chappie. No, I don't think it was Chappie. There was another robot AI movie where Hugh Jackman was the bad guy and he was against the transfer of conscious or something like that. But there is a movie with Keanu Reeves called Remnants that I was just pointing at. But I do agree that there was another movie about robots where Hugh Jackman was the bad guy. I don't know if there's.
I think that was his first. I think that was his first movie as a bad guy, but his second movie was he played a bad guy. It had him and Christian Bale in it, and it was about illusions and shit, magic kind of thing, And Hugh Jackman's character was kind of just, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the movie.
And who's to say that they're not already secretly implementing? Because you and I have already done reviews about they have this shield that can refract light and make nobody see what's behind it. Who's to state that all this extracurricular gear that these military personnel are having, there is a little super soldier helps in them so that they can move faster for longer, etc.
There is a channel of a woman. She's a targeted individual, but I will not mention the name or the channel. She has come across people, beings, that she saw yellow eyes. All right. Where she saw yellow eyes of cloaked figures, something that you don't want to see in a dark alley. Put that way. Curse is out for a minute. He's nature's calling. But again, I'm not going to mention the woman or her name or her channel out of respect. but she has seen cloaked figures, yellow eyes, and whatnot. Something you wouldn't want to see in your backyard in dark times, man, because that'll be, but the whole technology of cloaked invisibility, that right there is beyond. I mean, any sane person would be like,
Yeah, any individual that doesn't know of what they are capable of, and we're just going to say they for right now, um, and what they have done and what they're drip feeding to the public. Going back to the reference of DARPA created the internet in the 60s, we didn't get it to the 90s. We have no idea what they legitimately privately have.
exactly.
And without doing the research, we don't know what's being drip fed to the public, just such as the light refracting shields that literally make certain things behind it invisible. And if it's at the point where the public has a blurred version of this, what makes you think that they don't have the Metal Gear Solid technology where you push a button and you look like water walking around?
Exactly. It's again, naming all these different technologies over the years that evolved till now. There's a few people out there that kind of miss the analog shit, Rather have the analog, because
That was another thing. There's this little idea that I've been working on for years, but like I said, we progressed too far through time, so there's no way to actually legitimately pin it down. Whenever they switched over from analog signal to digital signal with television, and they forced us all to get these converter box, that in itself was a setup for everyone. That in itself was right on the cusp of whenever suddenly, oh, why is that movie line don't match what I know it has been? I just watched the movie 3 weeks ago and it said this. Now I watched the movie a month and a half later. Why is that line different? And now we just progress through, and there are points where we can acknowledge, yes, movies were altered because of certain events that we were brainwashed to acknowledge. And I'll say it that way. And this is the point behind it. They literally removed and edited certain movies because of said event.
yeah,
Because they wanted to keep it in the public's mind. And I even have a video. Never forget that you were brainwashed.
exactly. There's a channel called Antenna Man, and it talks about current things that's going on with analog and digital shit, TVs and radios and whatnot. And I would highly recommend check him out. Watch this guy. This guy is very knowledgeable. He's from the Northeast area. He's from New England, area, and he talks about everything analog and digital, anything that's been updated and whatnot, And I watch him basically almost all the time because the information he's putting out is like, dude, fuck, man, there are people that are still using analog answering machines, and I'm laughing because to me, I'm laughing because I'm in awe of someone still using a old school answering machine. you know, which is smart because it is analog. It is analog, and it's smart. It's brilliant, you know.
And if there's any younger viewers out there, I'll put a little more clarification to it. Back in the old days, your phone was hooked up to a machine that had a tiny cassette tape in it. And whenever people called and it rang X amount of times, the machine will pick up, start talking to them, and say beep, and then it'll start recording their voice. And you can hear it throughout your house. So if you're actually there and you want to screen the calls, this is how individuals used to screen the calls. It goes back to the old commercial. Bob, we out a baby eats a boy. Do you accept the charges? No. Click. And then it's the older couple. Bob, he had a baby. It's a boy.
Exactly. And now I want to get off topic here real quick, and I know that we're getting close here. Your thoughts on Alcatraz? President Trump wants to reopen up Alcatraz. There were a lot of thoughts and concerns over that. My thing is, I say leave it closed. It's been since 63.
I'm agreeing with that statement. It'll take too much to bring it up to standard code, is how I'll say it.
Exactly. The now also a positive part is if it does happen, it would take away the overcrowding in some prisons, but Alcatraz can only hold so much.
Who says that Alcatraz won't become another Bay in Guantanamo?
Exactly. You know,
Or worse, sir, because you can only get into it one way. There's only one way in, one way out. And who's to say that they're not doing extracurricular activities on the extremely violent side there? Because we both know that electroshock therapy was used up until the mid 80s.
Exactly. If it does happen, it would take away the mythos and the legend, and it will completely eradicate the stories, and my question is, why open it? It'll take so much fucking money to bring it up to code. Basically, I mean, it would take years.
Honestly, I'm kind of with you with the idea that rebuilding Alcatraz itself to bring it up to code versus creating a false island and doing a building on top of it. That'll cost a lot less money than it will be to bring up something back to code, because they literally have to demolish the building anyway. It's not renovation, it's demolition rebuild is literally what they have to do, because it's so behind, because they have manual doors. They don't have electronic doors there. Now they're going to have to literally computerize the doors. You're basically gutting Alcatraz. You're not even renovating it, is what I'm getting to. You literally are rebuilding a building. So why not build a building instead of rebuild a building?
Well, there are some prisons that have been shut down for a number of years. They could go back, and it wouldn't cost very much. I mean, we're getting money back through tariffs. Instead of tax dollars, use the money from the tariffs to do that. Because you're not really hitting taxpayers, you're getting money from the tariffs that are coming in. You have some prisons that look like that can be reused, even if it's temporary.
I'm not going to get into the major details behind this next statement about what I truly mean, but since you're bringing up Mr. President, etc., the easiest way to get someone to do something is to make it their idea. And like I said, I'm not going to get into major details behind what I truly mean with that statement. I do it on my channel, but proving Trump is Trump, yeah, that's about as far as I'll go.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Right now, what we're getting to is like, man, I would agree with that. We're seeing the police state reborn. We're seeing everything really getting out of hand here.
Day by day, it gets worse. Yes, and honestly, whenever we started our journey, me and you together, it's been 14 now, all but almost 14 years since Queen and I have been with each other for 13.
Yeah.
And we were even talking about this back then. And what really happened on September 23rd, way back then, we may never understand the answer, but I can tell you this, it's right in front of our face right now.
I want to say something right now that this would probably blow people away. It may upset some, but also make them go, fuck. There's a footage that was leaked years ago, long time ago. We all know what happened on 9/11. We all saw planes going into buildings, But what bothered me is this. The person was viewing and nothing changed. There was explosions, but no planes.
Right. We still have that video file and miscellaneous information where it's a little messed up, but the footage within the first 3 to 8 seconds, you legitimately do not see an airplane, but you legitimately suddenly see an explosion on the left tower.
Here's the reason why for the planes. The planes were a distraction for the real reason why the everything went down. The planes were an illusion. So we all know what happened. We all know controlled demolition.
Going to the Pentagon, there was no large pieces of airplanes found.
It was a missile.
As well as that was just a brand new renovated side of the Pentagon. And just like with the details behind this, there was something that was going to come out on Hillary Clinton. And then the day before all of it goes down, there's a massive explosion on a building, therefore making sure no evidence can be brought against Clinton. You know the exact details of that, but I'm just bringing that up.
Oh yeah. We all know that Seth Rich, he was murdered in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. He was
and we can also point out the individuals who got random miscellaneous calls from what they thought that was their manager, Seth MacFarlane, to tell them not to get on an airplane said specific day. And it was just more than that one individual. There's a list somewhere of people who got a strange call that morning warning them to miss their flight from a person they actually know. And then the thing behind that is whenever they talk to the person that they knew that they thought that called them, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. That proves right there that we had the ability to mimic human speech over a phone back then. And we see it this day and age with these scam callers. They're using recordings because you don't want Abdul Absim on the stupid name on the phone talking to you about open enrollment. Did sign up for open enrollment. And just to let everybody know right now, open enrollment does not start until November. Do not get scammed.
Exactly. The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, right?
South Park.
South Park. Um,
I'd call that the big four, in my opinion.
you wouldn't think, right, that they're telling you something. But how do we know? Like, how did they know? Like, to like put it in the show.
Yeah, that's the wicked things. How can they quote unquote predict what is to come with such grand accuracy? Or explain things that are going on in the world, such as South Park did, with a satiristic nature, but you see the undertone of pure truth in it. It's like, wow.
I mean, it's like they predicted. So far, the Simpsons had predictions that were predicted, but the percentage that were accurate, and then there was some that were not accurate. Family Guy, right? They did an episode where the moon landing, right? Where a guy saw Neil Armstrong come out of a studio, said, "Wait!" I was like, then he killed the guy, threw him in the truck, and drove off.
Yeah, I've posed this question before. Do individuals think that we went to the moon whenever we were told that we went to the moon? I cannot confirm nor deny said question, but I can confirm that there are synthetic objects on the moon. Synthetic means human made, that literally allow us to precisely measure the distance between the Earth and the moon, which allows us to accurately, not precisely, accurately measure the distances between other objects. So therefore, at some point in time, we had to have landed on the moon, as well as the Apollo missions went up to 22, 23 in some documents. So just things that we're not told about, once again, reference.
Exactly. And I I like I like where they're going with this, but it's also the big curveball, you know. But right now we're at an hour and 13 minutes and 35 seconds. We will be putting this in the oven in about a good 10 minutes. So in closing here, I want to thank my good buddy here, Chris Zero, for coming along and Zero and I have been doing this for a long time. Some may say you guys are off topic. Actually, we weren't off topic. So, then again, in case, because dude, usually I get every now and then I'll get because I'll be drinking something here and be accused of you might want to get off the bottle, man. Just in case that I'm drinking tropical orange sparkling water, just in case. Usually in the morning I'll have coffee, you know. But again, you know, Zero and I have been doing this for a long time, and always a good collab. and we're an hour and 50 minutes. So we're going to head and close this.
Yeah, real quick, Grimlock. If anybody is interested, I actually have our playlist. Gather your dots before you connect them on my channel, and we basically literally go through enough information to be taken off of YouTube during these different live streams. And we're discussing these things that are coming and was in our present perception at that point in time. And now we're even acknowledging some of the things that are occurring because we didn't have validatable proof. And now we can legitimately come and say, hey, look what happened. Hey, we said this. Hey, we already predicted this 5 years ago. We already know what's up.
Exactly. But in closing, my name is Reverend Ordo, and I want to thank my good buddy here, Chris Zero, for coming along. And if you're new, check out, connect your dots. And if you're in this channel, don't like, subscribe, share.
Share it because definitely we're not being shown. Share this out to individuals who desire this information. I apologize, Reverend.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Always live healthy, happy, and wise. I mean, healthy and wise. Big time. Be wise. And we'll all see you in the next channel. Peace out. Godspeed. Put a bless.
Trips.